Far below sunlit sails, beneath waters old enough to remember the first moon, the kingdom endured in fading splendor. Pearl spires rose from the sea floor like a cathedral's ribs wrapped in streaming gardens of luminous coral. Whalebone arches bridged the royal avenues. Silver fish wheeled through them in vast schools, shifting like banners in a current no hand could command. It was beautiful enough to seem eternal. It was dying. Along the outer reefs, the glow had thinned. Coral once bright as stars now pulsed weakly, then went dark. Empty nurseries rested beneath sea silk canopies. Songs that once filled the trench cities returned with too much silence between their notes. Every mermaid felt it, a dimming in the water, a hush in the bloodline, a future narrowing one season at a time. At the heart of that fading realm stood the throne of Queen Meridia, grown from anemone, shell, and old magic, guarded by coral columns glowing like submerged embers. When the summons spread, they came from every quarter. Hunters from the kelp forests, singers from the crystal caves, scouts from the Blackwater border. Hundreds gathered beneath the throne, their faces lifted, their hope sharpened by fear.
The prophecy is no longer distant. It is upon us.
Her voice carried through the water like a storm heard from below.
Our kingdom bears daughters and only daughters. No sons rise in our cradle waters. No future answers our call. The old law remains. Without human males to join our line, the sea will unmake what it once sheltered. Our halls will empty. Our songs will end. Our names will vanish in the deep.
No one interrupted. Not because grief had stunned them, but because each had already imagined this speech in the privacy of her own terror.
We do not have the luxury of mourning before the end. We act or we fade.
The queen did not sound cruel. That was the sharper wound. She spoke as if every heart before her were a resource to measure against extinction. Among the gathered mermaids, Lyra watched from the middle rows, still as cut stone. She had known hunger, patrol duty, cold trenches, and punishment. But what tightened in her chest now was worse than fear. It was the knowledge that survival would be chosen, and not everyone would be chosen for it.
At moonrise above the upper current, the chosen will ascend. They will carry our songs to the human shore. They will do what must be done for the realm.
A murmur spread through the assembly, thin and desperate. To be chosen was to face the unknown surface, the violence of air, the strangeness of human desire. It was also life. By the old rites, the candidates were tested before the court. They raced through towering kelp, while judges marked the grace of every turn. They dove through volcanic vents and returned with burning pearls. They sang into crystal chambers until sound fractured into visible rings that shimmered through the water like spells made real. Lyra moved through each trial with a force that made others glance twice. In the race, she cut the current so cleanly it seemed the sea wanted her to win. In the dive, she returned before stronger swimmers found the vent floor. In song, her voice struck the crystal wall hard enough to split light into 1,000 trembling shards. She was not the gentlest. She was not the most polished. But she was fearless, and fearlessness had begun to look a great deal like worth.
Lyra has strength. Lyra has skill.
The words reached her, and for one dangerous instant, hope did too. Then Queen Meridia began naming the chosen.
Ceres, Naya, Phelan, Ione.
One by one, the selected mermaids crossed the court and bowed. Lyra kept waiting to hear her own name arrive behind theirs. It did not. At first she thought she had missed it. Then she counted the chosen twice. Then she understood.
Your Majesty.
The single address sliced through the ceremony. Heads turned.
I won your trials.
You survived them.
I am stronger than some you named.
Strength without discipline endangers every mission it touches.
You mean obedience?
I mean trust.
The silence that followed was colder than trench water.
You would leave me here to fade with the rest.
I would not send one who breaks order before she breaks the surface.
No anger changed the queen's expression, no plea softened it. Her judgment had the stillness of a locked gate. Around Lyra, no one spoke for her. Some pitied her, some feared being seen to agree. Most lowered their eyes and thanked the deep that their own names had been called. In that moment, the kingdom's crisis ceased to be a burden shared by all. For Lyra, it became personal. It became a hand closing around her throat. Moonrise above the upper current came like a pale rumor through the sea. The selected ascended in formation, carrying the queen's sanctioned magic, their tails glimmering with the promise of transformation and return. Lyra remained below, hidden near a ruined archway where the reef had begun to crumble. She watched them go. She watched their bodies rise through brighter water. She watched the escorts follow. She watched the shimmer of protective magic disappear toward a world she had never seen. The kingdom behind her felt suddenly smaller than a tomb.
If I stay, I die for your order.
Her voice came out low, almost steady.
If I go, I may die for myself.
That was enough. Terror drove the choice. Resentment gave it shape. Lyra turned from the royal ascent path and swam toward the forbidden trench, the jagged wound in the sea floor where currents ran wrong and border guards hunted deserters, smugglers, and creatures older than the crown. No sanctioned route to the surface passed through that darkness. No potion waited for her at the end. Only pressure, depth, and the stubborn conviction that being denied life was not the same as surrendering it. The trench swallowed color first. Teal became blue, blue became iron gray, and then the sea turned almost black. The walls rose on either side of Lyra like broken cliffs, slick with blind eels and thread-like growths that recoiled from her passing. Far below, unseen things pulsed with patient light. She swam harder. Behind her, a horn sounded from the border watch. They had seen her. Through the dark came the answering glow of pursuit. Hunter mermaids with spear points lit in cold blue and harnessed rays cutting sharp arcs through the water.
Lyra returned to the royal current. By command of Queen Meridia, return now.
Lyra did not answer. The trench tightened, then opened into a corridor of falling stone and violent current. A surge slammed her against rock. She caught herself, twisted, and shot through a forest of mineral spires as the first spear struck where her shoulder had been an instant earlier. The sea here did not feel like home. It felt like judgment. Shadows moved beyond the reach of guard light. Vast shapes, slow mouths, eyes opening in the dark and closing again. Lyra drove upward anyway, leaving blood, fear, and the last easy road back to the kingdom somewhere below, in the black. Above, thunder rolled through the ceiling of the world. Then Lyra broke the surface,